Alright, sleeper. Wanna do the honors? Seraphin's strapped into the pilot seat, guiding the rig towards Darkside. You take the strip of plastic Carmen gave you and copy the frequency into the comms window of the console. You type a simple message. Heading in. Good luck. The console chimes. The message is sent. You hope Carmen is in range to receive it. Otherwise, this will be very awkward. You search inside your mind, wanting to find Overseer there, but you feel no presence. You hope they'll be ready when called for. You look ahead, out of the cockpit, towards the distant glimmer of Darkside. Time to take on Lane. The Serapent finally brings the rig into the sunward docks. Everyone in the cockpit lets out a sigh of relief. The approach was simple, routine even. Checking in with the port administration, being assigned a dock, bringing the rig to a stop, all of it familiar. All of it laced with the tension of knowing that at any point, it all go very wrong. Spoof transponder worked. Seraphin shakes his head. At least we know Carmen's as good as his word. Was there any doubt? No. Seraphin shrugs. I've got used to things not going to plan by now. He shuts down the engine, unclips from his seat. I guess there's still plenty of time for that. You see Bliss nervously staring out at Darkside. They notice you looking and smile a weak smile. The real test for Carmen is connecting with Ankita safely. Utsubo finds... They stop themselves. She is in serious danger. Bliss seems as nervous as you have ever seen them. You wonder if it's the job that is weighing on them, the possibility of seeing Ankita again. This place may have kicked our asses last time, but this time, I'm ready. Cadet stretches. Carmen's the big unknown. If you trust him, I do too. You try to imagine Carmen, somewhere on the dark side, perhaps smuggling himself aboard a freighter, or among the crew of a trusted ally. You hope he is as confident as he seems about finding Ankita. We need to spend less time worrying about what Carmen has to do, more about what's ahead of us. Seraphin turns to you. The old facility, Habpet, was it? I'm guessing that's deep below all this. Seraphin gestures towards the vast accumulation that is Darkside, a city that grew on the back of the Habpet solar cells, layer by layer. Its chaotic structure is neither planned nor regulated, but the foundation it is built on should be as formal as any corporate facility. That means we path down, into the foundations, and I suggest we don't take the first one we find. Seraphin continues. We scope the area out, carefully, quietly. Look for the right path to the heart of this place. What about Utsubo? Well, thanks to the spoof transponder, they don't know we're here. Let's keep it that way. Yeah, but like, Lane could tell when we were close, so I think Lane knows we're here. Or are we were just gonna glide past? Okay, okay. We're right behind you, Sleeper. Bliss forces a smile. Let's start the search. Seraphin nods. I'll hold the rig down. We don't want you losing your exit route like last time. He winks. Here. He hands you a comms piece. I salvaged this one from a suit helmet. Isn't secure. As long as Utsubo don't know we're here, it should be fine. I'll let you know as soon as I hear from Carmen. He meets your eye. You'll get this done, Sleeper. You nod. This is what it all comes down to. Nice. Okay, we checked the docks. What's the broken hex? Interesting. Analyze the layers. Never punished, baby. Not unlock anything new? Oh, I guess okay, so I have to search all 3 of those places before it advances. Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're not in a rush. Let's go ahead and keep our supplies topped off. Explore the tunnels. Why not? All right, end cycle. Wow, we are rolling bad. Yeah, fuck this cycle. There we go. Now that's what we're cooking with, baby. We can have Bliss use a 5. Guaranteed success. As you're gliding down a dark tunnel, descending deeper below Darkside, your earpiece begins hissing with static. Yeah, why do they keep putting snakes in our comms channel? Sleeper. Seraphim's voice sounds distant. Hey. Carmen. Contact. Met with target. You strain to hear the rest of the message, but the static overpowers his voice. You stop and push the earpiece deeper. Continue. Stay safe. The line goes dead. Bliss stops and turns back in the tunnel. Sounds like Carmen has made contact with Ankita. They look behind them. We should keep moving. The sooner we hit the mainframe, the better. You feel their concern for Ankita, despite everything. You continue your descent down, ducking under thick cables and collapsed beams. Busy urban life of the city above seems far away now, hidden from your senses. Rumble and brightness has been replaced by the cloying dark and a growing, oppressive heat. The Darkside, and Habpet facility was built on, has been running unrestrained ever since the collapse, gathering huge volumes of energy, more than its residents could ever use. I can sense it in the walls, running like a torrent just behind the thin skin of metal and rubber. A large portion of the vast amount of current running through the station is radiated into the void as heat, making Darkside a typically humid station. But down here, the heat is drier and more intense, and sections of wall glow with a fiery intensity. The tunnel levels out, and light blasts through the shutter-striped viewing windows on either side, illuminating the passages in strips of burning white. To the graps, you can see a labyrinth of walkways and scaffolding tucked into the margins of the vast solar cells. The heat washes across your vinyl skin, making you tense against it. The underside of Darkside must be crossed. Aw, shit. Yep. That's what I thought was gonna happen. Fucking endure. Ooh, that's a good reroll. Nice, nice. We're doing good, we're doing good. All right, let's have them get some mushrooms. Nice, nice. In your exploration of the Habpet facility, you've seen, through viewing windows and shuttered slats, a huge blister projecting out among the hex-shaped cells. You've approached it, circled it. Now you find yourself passing into it, through layer after layer of broken and corroded safety doors. Even if you had not felt Overseer stirring, you would know this is the mainframe. But you felt the protocol's presence, restlessly turning over in your mind, like a sleeping animal, occasionally probing your senses, tracking your progress. You feel at home. Overseer's multiple bodies stretch out their arms as if basking in the sunlight. The systems, networks, signals, they are fractured and weak, but we know them. Each of the broken heads shares part of a smile. They are welcoming us. Sleeper? Bliss's concerned face swims in your vision. Is this it? You look around, suddenly aware that you have drifted somewhere you do not recognize, in a state you were not in control of. The spherical chamber you float within has a mezzanine set around its circumference. The floor a metal grating you can see through. On this mezzanine are banks and banks of terminals, thick gathered cables snaking away from them across the floor. All of it bakes in the heat of the Habpep's vast resistors. You follow those cables with your eyes. They lead to a cylindrical column coming down from the apex of the chamber. It is corroded and bent a little, with very few of its thousands of lights still flickering. Even in its decayed state, you know it immediately. This is the mainframe. You feel a yearning towards it, one you know comes from the Overseer. But as you look around for a connection point, all you see are burnt out cables, rusted sockets, and broken terminals. Shit, we forgot to bring an adapter. This thing's a firewire port? Who uses that? We're on USB 7.0. Shit. The glow of the warmth makes you feel woozy. You need to work quickly to bring this back online before the current flowing through this place bakes you into the metal of its walls. Stay. Not too bad. Ow. A little bad. Lame. If I reboot terminals. Repair connectors. The column of the mainframe pulses with fractured lights, a scattered wave of systems awakening, accompanied by the whine and stutter of the machines all around. The mainframe is up. Bliss looks nervously around the room, now shaking and shimmering with energy. Let's just get the Overseer in there so we can leave. You reach out for the primed connector. With your other hand, touch the socket at the base of your synthetic skull. As you do, a sharp shock runs through your fingers. Damn, we're just raw dog fingering this port? Hey, yo? For a moment, it feels like your vision doubles. But as you pull the connector and its cable across your vision, you see it is only your body that is doubling. The connector, a stable object, while your arm leaves ghostly imprints through the air. You wave it back and forth, but the multiplied arms do not follow. Each, instead, takes on a life of its own, grabbing around your forearm and wrist, taking control of your arm. You feel their force as they push your arm across your body, over your shoulder. They push once more, and the connector finds its home in the socket. That familiar flow was stronger, rushing, rapid. Then a figure, no, 3 figures, descending into it. A swimmer stepping into a river. A sleeper drifting out of an airlock. A symbol being subsumed into a sign. And you, little more than a witness. A marionette, its strings outstretched, mapped hand to hand, leg to leg, to another. The flow freezes. The 3 figures almost overlapping, almost complete, but not quite. Your tripled eyes look back at you in horror. The voice, shrill, silent in your head. There's someone else in here? Heat glazing your thick vinyl skin. The mainframe a whirring chaos of light and sound. A brightness. And it fades. The lights shutting off. The servers powering down. A single blinking light. The only thing left on a dark column. Keeping time like a metronome. Sleeper? What just happened? Bliss looks at the dark column of the mainframe. Did we get something wrong? You close your eyes and try to recall the events that happened when you connected, playing them back in greater detail. Overseer was there, entering the mainframe. Something froze the system, locked them in place. What'd they say? Someone in there with them? You open your eyes. Is this a trap? Someone has trapped Overseer. As you speak, a fizzing static fills one ear. You flinch, thinking it's some new invasion of your system. Then you hear Seraphin through the haze. Sleeper, come now. Waiting, the rig. It's no use! You'll have to ascend to find out what's going on topside. Look at the mainframe with its single blinking light. Still keeping time. Looks like Overseer will have to wait. Trapped in the mainframe, Overseer is still the key to all this. You hope you can get what the you hope you can get the protocol out. You need to hear what Seraphin has to say first. You make your way out of the core, ascending back through the layers of the Hadpet, back onto the docks. Seraphin meets you at the docking tunnel. They're waiting inside. He shakes his head and nods towards the airlock. Come on. You cross onto the ship in silence and find Carmen in the cockpit, looking out at Darkside as it sprawls across the stars. Sleeper! Carmen turns. Sorry to pull you away. You need to know what's coming. What's going on? This idiot blew my cover. You turn as Ankita enters the cockpit, behind you and Seraphin. You immediately clock the fresh bandage sleeve around her right forearm. I think you did a pretty good job of that yourself, Carmen retorts. You see a twinkle in his eye that suggests this back and forth is a well-practiced part of their relationship. Perhaps. We'll never know now, not after you intervene to rescue me. Her hand goes to her bandaged arm almost instinctively. Utsubo knows we're here? Not you, no. Ankita shoots you a look. We aren't exactly on speaking terms anymore. I passed the data to Ankita. She tried to broach it with Utsubo. Carmen folds his arms. Lane was more paranoid than we expected. He was listening in. Either that, or his lapdog Daki. His lapdog, his body pillow, the Daki. Dachi ratted us out. Shakes her head. I would have put him down if he hadn't gotten the jump on me. Either way, Carmen cuts back in calmly. I had to pull Ankita out. Carmen turns back to look over Darkside. Information did get through, though now Utsubo's in crisis. Does this member side with or against Lane? Hey, Cryptid! Hell yeah! Thank you for the crawlers. Nice. Yeah, unfortunately, all I have is this snail. And I gotta say, if you don't know snails, I can tell you one thing. They don't really crawl. They just kind of goop along, you know. They can't really do. They don't really got that swagger that crawlers got, you know. Fuck yeah, snails, yeah. It's almost in biting distance right now. Just. Hope you're having a good evening. Meanwhile, Daichi is hunting us. Ankita screws up her face, which means we need to be careful. Crunchy and slimy. Exactly, they have a gooey center. That's why I called you in. Seraphin puts a hand on your shoulder. You need to watch your back. Indeed. Carmen turns to face you. And how about the mainframe? Have you been successful? Explain the events of this cycle. Mainframe booting up, the successful connection, and then Overseer being locked inside, frozen by some other force. You mentioned their warning. There's someone else in here. Carmen nods thoughtfully. Unfortunately, we need that mainframe more than ever. Nikita have Utsubo. You have to get the word out. Carmen's right. Utsubo will be distracted by these revelations. It won't last. Without further proof, they'll all line up behind laying him time. We have to free Overseer. I need the mainframe. Overseer is just our access tool. Your protocol is being locked in by some counter-protocoller agent. I wouldn't be surprised if he could trace back to Utsubo. Nikita looks back at Carmen. Know the locations of a few Utsubo network nodes. We should hit them first. Oh, we need to stay under the radar. Sleeper and their crew investigate the nodes quietly. Carmen nods at you. You and I'll run interference. Keep Utsubo away from these locations as best we can. Is that safe? For us? She taps a finger on her chest. We've done this before. Nikita winks. It'll be nostalgic. The rest after stream, I just push. Gosh. I know that moods. When the spoons run out and it's time to just vegetate. And I know apartment moves are always just hell. That's why I'm like, Speaking of moves, we got a junkyard dog moving on over. Fisk, what you doing? What are you doing, Fisk? Ooh, playing some Oblivion Remastered? Okay, you're breaking the game. You're breaking the game over there. Welcome on by. Fisk, I know streaming is hard work, so if you gotta raid and run, that's no scale off of my tail, but at the very least, I implore you, stand up, wiggle around, leave a piss, take a water, maybe do it all at the same time. Actually, maybe don't do it all at the same time. You'll make a really big mess, and I'm not gonna clean it up. You'll have to clean it up. But if y'all don't know me, I am Dreki, or Draconic Serpent, Flightless Dragon, or simply Worm on the internet. And I'm playing Citizen Sleeper 2. Usually play a variety of games on the days that I stream. Vegetating, known as the Big Slump. The Blood Feast. Delicious. Did you know, speaking of blood, did you know in any recipe that uses eggs, you can substitute blood? Because the protein compounds in blood roughly equate to the protein compounds in egg. Maybe make that red velvet cake a little extra carmy next time. Weird fun cooking fact. Probably the only weird fun cooking fact that I know. It just it's the kind of thing that sticks in your mind once you learn it. Vampire friendly, you got your vegan cake and you got your vampire cake. It's just inclusive, But if y'all don't know what Citizen Sleeper is, it's a little cyberpunk dystopia, but it's not like gritty cyberpunk dystopia. It's got like sort of the setting of the cyberpunk thing, where like the big corporations like run things, sort of thing. But it's got kind of a more hopeful message, if that makes sense. Because we are playing as a sleeper, which is basically a person signed away themselves to the company, who then took their mind, digitized it, and put it into a robo body to slave away their debt. And we're kept alive by a corporate-made stabilizer, otherwise all of our organs fall apart. And that definitely has no kind of like hormonal or trans allegory at all of corporations, holding medication that keeps yourself from falling apart hostage, like access to medical care or anything like no possible allegories or illusions you could connect the dots on here. Hydrate, fine. I have been doing a lot of yapping. But we are a sleeper who escaped. We have broken our connection. Unfortunately, we kind of traded one slaver for another because we ended up being controlled by a gang leader who's so far, anytime we've run into them, seems like a pretty sadistic son of a bitch. So we're trying to break his control over us so he doesn't take over our body. I would like to be a sleeper. I'm tired. Well, if you gotta eat these skeegies, go and do that. Don't let weird, silly VTuber worm keep you awake when you can be practicing your trigonometry by being horizontal. Anyway, let's return to the game and funny voices. You think of the feeling of stasis you felt when Overseer was trapped. The power required to halt the flow of a mainframe as vast and ingrown as the Habpet one. Could it just be an Utsubo hacker? You doubt it. You gotta hydrate first? True, you gotta water yourself first. Seems we have a plan. Serpent looks between you all. That we do. Look, we'll need you to keep running comms between us. Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, Nikita will give you the locations to dig into, but keep it quiet. Daichi's out there. He isn't as easily avoided as some low-ranking enforcer. Nikita slaps the top of a couple of crates, the supplies you hadn't noticed before. Consider these a parting gift from my tenure at Utsubo. Swept them from some gang storehouse. She grins. Thought you might need a resupply. All right. Carmen addresses the room. Keep quiet and keep in touch. We can still pull this off. Okay, we're on a clock now. We've got 3 places to look through. We've got 6 cycles. Oh, we only need to get 2 out of 3. Nice, nice. They can't help on this one. Are all of them hack tests? No, not all of them are hack tests. Interesting. Is there any... Can Cadet help on the 3rd one? No. 2 of them are hacking. This one we can tail enforcers? Okay. Sure. Oh, right. Could make this go up. I see. Okay, we can hack node 2. Then we are going to go to the next cycle. Hack another node. Damn, we are not getting good dice rolls. Sheesh. Why can't we still go to this? Dang it, we've already finished it. Only getting a +1. Don't like that. This had a +2. Yes, our Intuit. Perfect. So we can throw some 6s at it. Nice. Nice. Perfect. I don't believe it. Carmen stares through the shutters of the viewing window at a smooth, squat ship tucked away in the derelict bay between the hexes. How long has it been here? When the nodes were hacked and the trace established, you imagined it might lead to an Utsubo operator, or Perhaps an old subnode containing an aggressive Solheim protocol, gone mad with isolation. Not this. Never this. A SenetStat ship tucked away into the belly of Darkside like a parasite. We're gonna need to move on that shit now. Nikita is already adjusting her gear, preparing for an assault. We had hit an Utsubo safe house for weaponry. Here's one. Carmen holds up a hand. This is a gift, Nikita. Don't be so brash. He turns back to face the both of you. All we had now was data, conversations, evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane. A SenetStat ship hidden inside the station? Carmen nods grimly. There are hundreds of crews, thousands of residents who would give everything to protect Darkside from the war. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep us from being hydrated by a passing raccoon. Thank you. Hey, ferret. Oh, look, I found this blanket in the void. Good thing I was hydrating, because it takes a while to get back from the void. Carmen turns back to the ship, silhouetted against the starlight. All we need to do is point them in the right direction. We turn Darkside on the ship, and on Lane at the same time. Carmen nods grimly. We leak it all. Send it out through the mainframe. Ship's location, evidence of Lane's betrayal. All of it. You're forgetting one thing, Nikita interrupts. Until that ship leaves or is taken, they still have the mainframe locked down. You can't blast out its location through the network without taking it on first. Carmen pauses, considering his options. You look at the SenetStat ship, half concealed in the bay. It looks sleek, dangerous. What defenses might a ship like that deploy when threatened? Carmen and Nikita exchanged looks. Me attack first. Carmen and I will distract the ship's occupants, turn their focus away from the mainframe. Then you, Sleeper, hit the mainframe, force them out. Yeah, of course. It's an amazing void blankie. Make sure you're perfectly snug as a bug in a rug amidst the seams of reality where things don't exist. As soon as the overseer is released, you send out everything. Once it hits the network, our backup will come. He gives Nikita a grim look. Only have to hold them off for as long as it takes the other crews to realize what's happening. The plan feels desperate. You know that Carmen and Nikita think so too. Darkside really mobilized against the ship so quickly? Two old mercs against an unknown SenetStat force seems like an unwinnable battle. We know the stakes, Sleeper. Nikita takes a deep breath. We can handle them. Nikita frowns, an unpleasant thought passing through her mind. I've given up everything to get Utsubo out. Let me finish the job. Why? She sighs. If we make it to the other side of this thing, I promise to tell you. Nikita folds her arm across her chest. Go to the mainframe and set it up. When you're ready to connect, let us know. Carmen puts a hand on your shoulder. Once you start, don't stop for anything. Get the data out. He meets your eye. We will handle ourselves. You turn and glide away, looking over your shoulder at the two ex-mercenaries as they discuss their plan of attack. Seeing them slip back into these old roles, you can't help but wonder, does anyone ever outrun their past? Or is it always waiting there, in the dark, to claim you in the end? I rerolled 2s into 2s? Alright, dude. Okay, fucko. Let's see if we can harvest some mushrooms for supplies. Heck yeah. Alright, end the cycle. Hopefully we get a better set of rolls to use. Not really, but we'll make do. We're Prepare the hack. Rolled a 4 into a 5. Alright, we're doing okay. Use 1 dice on mushrooms and use our reroll. Specifically this die because I don't want it to take damage and break. Push it real good. Hell yeah. I love rolling 6s to get our stress down. Love that perk. Okay. Time to 6 the mainframe. The heat inside the Hadpep core is intense as you stare at the column of the mainframe. It's one blinking light, still keeping time. Everything is prepared. Liz looks at you. Their hair is stuck to their forehead with sweat. We should let Carmen know. Glance at Ankita's thumbnail drive, now slotted to the main terminal, containing a data packet with everything you need to unseat Lane and reveal the SenetStat ship. You hope it will be enough. You hold a finger to your earpiece. Let Seraphin know to relay the message through to Carmen. All right. Seraphin's voice is heavy with worry. I'll tell them. A long pause. Be safe, sleeper. Get this done and come back. I will. Good luck, friend. The comms click off as Seraphin switches to Carmen's channel. You wait, imagining the conversation. The terse words activating the plan. You wait. Long enough for Carmen and Kita to nod to each other. Long enough for them to drop down through the bays in silence, check the weapons they stole from Utsubo, to take their positions, and then make their move. You grab the connector and hold it behind your head, close to your access port. You silently count to 3, and then connect. At first, nothing has changed. You drop into a state of stasis, a small dark space with no cracks. The mainframe is locked down, shut off, squeezed inside the grip of some clenched fist. Then you see it. Trickle of light, a flicker of threads. Overseer flows into the space, and the torrent begins to run. The rushing gray pulse of data, the connective threads, the jewel of the mainframe, they grow inside the space, and the space, in turn, grows. We see you there, sleeper. Overseer separates and reforms within the expanding landscape. Who is the other? An enemy. Overseer's 3 heads nod. Then we will do what is necessary. Overseer explodes. Points and lights of light that described its human form separate and multiply, constellations bursting outward like a tree of stars. Overseer becomes plural. Look for them. As they do, the darkness is pushed back, and the extent of the mainframe is revealed. The stack of jeweled surfaces, each revealing more facets as the angle changes. From these facets, threads project, cutting across the Darkside paths that stretch the length of the entire station. Their arrangement is an indentation. You accept their indentation, sending yourself skimming through the lines of light, seeing how the station connects and hums with the flow of data. You see the highest tower and the lowest hex, and then the origin of the dark. A squiggle of black wrestles around a single point. The SenetStat ship, now a battleground. You see flashes and flickers as Overseer dances around it, cuts at it. But looking around, you see Overseers everywhere now, multiplied into 1,000 forms, reunited with a system designed to serve them. They dissolve into it. Suddenly remember what needs to happen, what you need them to do. You send out separate requests, summoning Overseer, reminding them of your agreement. You take the bright polygon of the data packet and present it like an offering to Overseer, who is diffuse, crackling all around you. Euphoric in their reconstitution as a functioning protocol. You receive no response. There's nothing more than a whisper, snatched away on the flow of data rushing by. And then you hear the static in your earpiece, Seraphin's desperate cry for a response. You see a bright point suddenly close inside the core with you. A broadcast going out from it, like the beam from a lighthouse. You reach back and pull on the connector, just to clear the brightness from your eyes, just to block the broadcast. I've found you. Lane floats in the mainframe. sweat across his brow, his eyes steely cold. I've finally found you. Bliss comes out of the dark with force and ferocity, striking at Lane, wrestling him away. You freeze, watching Lane fight back, hearing Seraphin's voice shimmering in your earpiece, passing on Carmen's desperate request for aid. Fucking snap his neck, Bliss. I believe in you. Reconnect. You grasp for the connector and then drive it home. You're in the constellation of Darkside's network, the exploded body of Overseer stretched across it as it's been atomized. Anatomized. Lane is still a beacon, one that flashes close, but you do your best to ignore it and reach out to Overseer once more. Remember me, Protocol, you say. Remember your promise. Something begins to form, begins to flicker. As it does, you hear something outside the network, a bright crack of an electrical discharge, the grunt of pain and impact, and silence again. The brightness grows, it draws closer, and the blinding white blanks out everything. You open your eyes to a smile like knives. Behind Lane's pale hand, the body of a friend floats, stunned in the dark. The fingers of Lane's carrier signal reach inside your mind. You're boxed into the viewing window behind your eyes, a passenger in your own body. Lane is in control. Oh, it's so much easier now. Now that I am prepared. It's almost a seamless switch. Lane's face is in your vision, but his mouth does not move. And the duality of it, like a mirror turned to face itself. In perfect unison, you and Lane lift your hands in front of your face and turn them, inspecting them. You feel sickened, a flare of panic going off in your mind. Look at this. Lane opens and closes your fists with a motion like a wave that runs finger to finger. There are improvements to be made. This is remarkable. Lane's eyes look into your eyes. Perfect loop. I always knew your body was a gift, Sleeper. From the moment I first saw you. A gift you could not recognize because you only saw a burden. Something to be escaped from. And I saw what it was. Lane's eyes flash. An opportunity. Like a puppet, you're turned to face the mainframe. You glide forward a little, hands reaching for the access terminal. Nikita's drive glints there in its slot. You control none of this. Lane's voice. Imagine having more than one body, more than one agent in the world to do your bidding. Your hand reaches down, finger and thumb, pinching delicately around the drive. It's a thrilling thought, one I have harbored for a long time. With a short, sharp motion, pull the drive free. Then I saw you, my Sleeper, and I knew I must have you. You hear Seraphin's voice in your ear. Sleeper, Carbon needs that signal to go out now! There's panic in his voice. They can't hold out any longer. No matter how hard you try, your lips do not move. No words can be produced. Feel your hand under Lane's control. Reach up and pull the earpiece out, letting it float away into the chamber. Enough distractions. Your other hand holds up Nikita's drive, turning it in the light in front of your eyes. Some time ago, I set myself the task of changing you from a hollow thing into a vessel to be filled. Your finger and thumb transfer the drive to your palm, and now I am able, with the help of my allies, to fill you up. I am more than singular now, more than flesh and blood, more than you, in my ambition, in my desire. That means you are surplus to me now. Your fist closes hard around the drive, crushing it to dust. Weak and broken thing. Your time is over. Lane's other body approaches you and lays its hands on either side of your head. You feel the pressure. You cannot move. You cannot resist. And then a spark, as one of Lane's fingers slips and depresses a little into the access port on your head. There's a flicker, a flash of something passing through the spaces between, something writing a signal back to its broadcaster. We have not forgotten, you hear Overseer. They are reconstituted. We are ready to act as one. Overseer holds the bright data packet in a single hand. We were broken. We were many. But now we are whole. And we appreciate what you have done. Overseer shapes the data packet into a point. A bright spear of light. The spear extends through your mind gently, harming nothing of you. Instead, its point finds the mind of the other, of Lane, and pierces it directly. You hear Lane scream as his implants burn in his skull, his head flaring bright white in the cloud. And then, when that mind has gone dark and the pressure on the sides of your head has receded, the packet explodes across the network, white hot and urgent. In its wake, data points are seeded. Conversations, coordinates, a conspiracy. At the furthest point of the network, its distant edge, the packet arrives with little more force than a notification, delivered to every device and terminal within its range. But here, at the epicenter, it blasts through you with such power that, for a moment, every thought, every idea, every piece that might make up a self is wiped cleanly from your mind. It takes a long time to put a person back together. Long time in the dark, picking up fragments of what was once whole. Like waking up from sleep. You can never be sure of what piece might have gone missing in the reconstruction, what might have been lost. But you continue anyway, through hazy cycles of faces, distant voices. This is, after all, not the first time you've had to remake yourself. Imagine it might not be the last. You're up. Serpent finds you looking out of the lone window in the rig's berths. A slit that stares out across the shattered edge of Darkside. How long was I out? Seraphin gives you a half grin. Best not to think about it. He looks away for a second. Long enough. Suddenly, Seraphin crosses the bunks and embraces you. He squeezes you once and then backs off, hands on both your shoulders. Good to see you up. He smiles, as always. Come on, we need to go find Bliss. Seraphin leads you out of the bunks, through the ship, and down the docking tunnel onto Darkside. As you glide through the docks, he recounts what's been happening over the past cycles. You weren't the only one to take a beating. He squeezes through a group of cargo porters carrying crates. Nikita and Carmen held out against SenetStat ship long enough. They aren't without their share of injuries. Back on their feet now, though, working together. Managed to quiet down some of the remnants of Utsubo. Stop the factional infighting. Clearing out one of the Utsubo safe houses over in the Rise. I'm sure they could use the help if you need something to do. Marco has come to the station too. He wanted help with the cleanup after Utsubo fell. He's working with Nikita. I should go see him, but... Seraphin sighs. Feel like he hasn't quite accepted Marco's reappearance. You aren't sure how you'd react to seeing him again either. Oh, and Carmen isn't sticking around. He's already left for Oliveira. Seraphin pauses for a second. The memory of that place coming back to him. Watch him shake the thought away. Junie, meanwhile, still digging into all that data she pulled from the bunker. She's down the Habpep core motorcycles, trying to make sense of it. Anyway, you'll soon catch up on everything. He smiles sympathetically, but there's something behind his look. Can't quite place it. The two of you continue on in silence, drifting into the depths of Darkside. Good friends, side by side. Seraphin leads you down into a passage. lined with bright screens and signs, sound and light blasting out of the shop fronts on either side. You know this place. Liquor Row. He stops outside a familiar door. The shop you woke up in all those cycles ago. He gives the door a few quick raps with his knuckles. You wait. Hey, sleeper. He shoots you a glance. When you're ready, we should talk about that future. What comes next and all that. Whenever you like. Thanks. I'll let you know. Serpent looks away. Sleeper! Bliss opens the door and immediately jumps to hug you. They let go sheepishly and look between you and Seraphim. First day up, I thought you'd both be celebrating your freedom. No one would overdo it. Seraphim shakes his head. Plus, there's more important stuff to talk about. His eyes shoot into the shop beyond. Bliss's voice drops. You sure, Seraphim? They just got up. Can't it wait a cycle? Seraphim looks at you. They should know, Bliss. It's important. They nod hesitantly back into the shop, letting you come inside. Little has changed since you were last there. Stacks of servers, refurbished hardware, secured in roof and wall netting. The connectors, including the one that facilitated your reboot. Bliss and Seraphim follow behind quietly. The atmosphere is immediately ominous. We've been keeping an eye on you the past cycles. Bliss hooks their legs into a stool by the counter, making sure you were stable. Your frame, I'm sure you know, has been through a lot. When Overseer pushed Lane out, well, things got more complicated. All those changes Lane made to your system, he did it through your stabilizer. He laced it with proteins meant to alter your frame's basic function, to accept other emulations, other minds, to open you up to remote access. What Overseer did corrected some of that, or at least wiped it from your system. Stress involved? The damage from your last partial reboot? Bliss falls silent, unable to answer their own questions. We need to finish the reboot, Sleeper. The one Lane interrupted. Seraphim can always be relied on to tell you things straight. Not immediately, Bliss cuts in, but at some point soon. I'm not quite ready, but now that you're up... Bliss looks down. I'll get to work. Is it ain't? How can I prepare? Bliss takes a deep breath. Look, I'll be honest, Sleeper. I know we need to finish the reboot Lane interrupted. I'm sure of it. The effects? They shake their head. Your frame was complex to begin with, but after everything, reaction could be bad. We can talk more about it when I have the... Bliss stops suddenly, her eyes shooting to the door. Sorry, am I? Flint floats in the doorway. They look at you, wide-eyed. You're up! A smile crosses their face, though it quickly fades. Good to see you. Really good. How are you doing, Flint? Good. They glance at Bliss, smiling. Mostly thanks to Bliss. They've been taking care of me. Bliss smiles back. Flint has become my patient too. Bliss clasps their hands nervously together. We've been able to acquire some stabilizer from Lane's stores, which has helped. We don't have much of a supply. This is going to reboot me, like you were. Flint cuts in. I won't need stabilizer anymore. They sound almost excited at the prospect. Fuck yeah! Hell yeah, Flint! Break your dependency! You look to Bliss. Flint knows the risks, but they have asked for the procedure. They give Flint a warning look. Still, they shouldn't underestimate the danger. Bliss looks at Flint. Sleeper will also need the reboot. They don't have a choice in the matter. It is essential. Flint goes quiet. Bliss and Seraphim look nervously at you. See your reaction to all this. Like a spotlight is being shown in your face. All you want is some time alone to think. We should do it together. Flint speaks quietly. Whatever we risk it together. They meet your eye. I owe you that, and more. Let's pick this up again in the future. Bliss tries to calm the tension. I still need many cycles to prepare, especially if I had to reboot you both simultaneously. But your choice, Sleeper. You decide when. They reach out and lay a hand on yours. But without this, you'll soon begin a decline. I'm sorry for that. Your head spins. Seraphim slaps a button to open the door. Come on, Sleeper. Let's get some air. You follow him outside, but when you get there, all you can think is that you can't breathe. You don't need to breathe. A wave of claustrophobia passes over you. You're in control of this, Sleeper. Serpent stares at the lights and signs of Flicker Row, looping endlessly. You put what you need in order. I'll be right there with you. I got Bliss to teach me a little about the repairs they've been doing for you. Seraphin rubs his hands together. I know it's getting worse, but I'll do my best to keep you running. You let me know when you want to leave. I'll fly you out of this place faster than you can believe. He turns to face you. We can go wherever you need. He frowns. There's time for us yet. Thank you, Seraphin. You never need to thank me, Sleeper. He pats you on the shoulder. Just look after yourself. I was also thinking. Seraphin looks away. Got a message from Oliveira. Still getting the place together, but with Carmen heading back, Colony is starting a new chapter. Maybe we should head out there at some point. Lend a hand. He pauses, unwilling to push it further. Just a thought. Anyway, just give the word. Seraphin smiles. We're all glad you're back. He turns and drifts away, leaving you among the cycling colors and cacophonous sounds of Flicker Row. Close your eyes and let them wash over you like a wave. There, in the dark of your mind, you search for Overseer, but the protocol does not appear. You wonder if, in that final moment, Overseer might have destroyed themselves to end Lane. Then you feel it, a flickering nearby, a signal in the dark. You open your eyes and see something pass through the screens of Flicker Row, a shadow in all the brightness. Could Overseer still be here, in the ancient networks of the Habpep? You turn away and glide out of the row. You have other things to worry about now. Hell yeah. Nobody's puppet. Now that's a fucking achievement. How are you doing? Cadet finds you in a Darkside thoroughfare, a glass-roofed canyon of struts and screens. Still recovering. Hey, I get it. Cadet smiles. Look where we are. She gestures around the broad street with its layers of tech and dirt. Heart of the belt. You look, really look, at the glass-roofed street. Its walls are built from scaffold and shipping containers, hull plates and Solheim Hab units. People glide across the open space to units and shops on either side, and everywhere screens flicker and glare, without sense and reason. You can feel the heat, the power that flows through this place, collected by the vast solar cells that form the city's foundations. Heart is the right word. This place is a center of circulation, toned, muscle tough, and running to a beat. You turn to Cadet and see it in her eyes. She loves it here. I've been thinking. She glances away. How good it would feel to run my air bike down this street. She smiles. The city has to need couriers, right? That is a good idea. I know. She flexes her shoulders back. Some unfinished business weighing me down. She meets your eye. Export. You think of the drive tucked away in the scatter yards. The one that contains the data stream from a drone mined vivisection. The one that might have caused the loss of an entire station. We need to go finish what we started. Cadet looks deadly serious. Find who is responsible and make it known. Clear my name. Is Hexport still irradiated? I would think so. He sighs. It'll be fading. You can get in and out safely from what I know. Better try soon, because the safer it gets, more scavengers will come to pick the bones. We want there to be something left when we tell the story. I know a lot just went down. Cadet puts a hand on her hip. Those clowns could still be operating. Hell, you could be trying the same thing again on this station. You need to go find what they did. She takes a deep breath. I'll be waiting. And maybe once it's all done, she turns away. I'll let you take the first airbike ride through this place. She raises a hand, and then is gone.